In this video, we're going to be looking at correct score football trading, and we're going to be looking at a correct score trading strategy of backing favorites via the correct score market. And we're going to be showing you real life trading demonstrations taken from the Betfair exchange to show you how it's done and much, much more. Go grab a nice cold beer or a martini and let's get into it. So we're going to be looking at backing favorites via the correct score market and then trading those score lines. And you will be seeing exactly how we're going to do it. It's going to be much easier to show you rather than tell you. But the idea is we're going to cover score lines in favor of the favorite winning. Then we're going to be trading those score lines as the goals go in. We're also going to incorporate a plan B. So just in case that favorite does struggle or maybe even loses the match, we could still be in a position to profit or break even or even just minimize our loss. But the main idea behind backing favorites via the correct score market is that you want to aim to make a bigger profit than via match odds. Because if you could just back the team in the match odds market and they win the match and you walk away with a profit, is it really needed to get involved in the correct score market if you're going to end up making the same profit? It's only worth getting involved in the correct score market if you are going to be potentially making a bigger profit than you would via the match odds market. But we're going to show you more about that in the actual examples. But just keep in mind, correct score trading is more complex and advanced. And so that is one of the reasons why you want to make sure that it's worth it. If it's more simple to just get involved in a match odds market, you might want to stick to that. However, once you get good at trading the correct score market, there are some definite benefits to it. And one of those is there are more options available in play as that match develops. If you're getting involved back in a favorite via the correct score market and they start to struggle or they go a goal down, there's usually options. There's usually things you can do. However, if you do that in the match odds market, then you can be very often up against it and you're going to need a complete turnaround in order to get into a good position. And the main idea as well, and you're going to see this in the real life examples very shortly, is that you can also profit when the favorite fails. Okay, you can't necessarily do that in the match odds market. You're going to need that favorite to win if you're just backing a favorite, aren't you? So in the correct score market, as said, there's lots of things we can do, and you're going to be seeing a lot of that right now. And as said, it's much easier for me to show you rather than just tell you. So we're going to get right into it right now with some real life demonstrations, all recorded on the Betfair exchange. But before we do, I would really love it if you're liking this video or you like the subject of this video, just click the like button to support the channel. It's still early in the video, so if you're not sure if you like it yet, just remember to click that like button as the video develops. So anyway, let's dive right into it. Go grab another nice cold beer and let's go. So we're going to be trading this match with Wolves against Arsenal from the Premier League. So Arsenal, very short price, fully expected to win this. £100 stake if we were to put it on Arsenal and just hoping they go on and win it. £29 of profit potential, so 29% return. And that's probably as good as it's going to get from using that £100 stake. However, let's head to the correct score market. And that same £100 stake, including a plan B of covering the 1-1, gives us a 66% return or 66% of profit potential. Okay, so that's substantially higher. And you might think, well, this is a little bit too good to be true. You can see we've covered a fair amount of score lines in favor of Arsenal. However, we have not covered the any other away win. So that's if Arsenal score 4 or more. And that is obviously a distinct possibility when you have a team of such a short price that they're absolutely going to obliterate their opponents, score 4 or more. So anyway, we have made the decision to not cover the any other away win. Arsenal are coming on into this match on the back of 2 defeats, and they're away to Wolves. It's not always an easy place to go, and so while we're expecting Arsenal to win, we are trading this based on our thesis that they're not going to win it very easily. And even if they do, we can still potentially save the day with our trading. But that's what we're predicting, okay, as we enter the match. It's not guaranteed to happen. Arsenal could be 5-0 up by half time. It's happened this season. But anyway, that is the initial approach, and that's the thought behind why we're entering the match the way we are. If we thought Arsenal could potentially destroy Wolves, and we thought this is how this match is going to go, then maybe you would not cover the 1-0 and 2-0 and just cover the upper scores. But anyway, look, let's just see how this one develops. It's Wolves against Arsenal. It's just about to kick off. Half time, and it's Wolves 0, Arsenal 1. Arsenal taking the lead on the brink of half time via Trossard, and so we are on the 1-0 scoreline. And so you can pretty much see already that cash out is offering us very close to the amount that we would have fully locked in upon the Arsenal win if we went on the match odds market. But we are trying for more. Okay, so what we're going to do is we are going to lay off the green in the on the 1-0 scoreline. Just going to put that order in there at 5.7, which is the next price to be taken. I'm just going to leave that there and let that get taken, and puts a bit more green on the next upper score lines, and then anticipating that Arsenal can at least go 2-0 up. Once they go 2-0 up, then we could be in a position to exit, depending on the time of the match, of course. Okay, so many different variables, but that's the plan. You can see that orders in the market. We're not going to hang around and let it be taken. I'm sure it'll be taken once the second half kicks off. So anyway, Wolves 0, Arsenal 1. So far, so good. We're in the 95th minute, and Arsenal have just doubled the lead via Martin Odegaard. He's just given them the second goal that we were looking for. And so we're probably not going to trade this out. Okay, I think this is pretty much it. Just going to quickly double check. And yeah, 10 seconds are left on this. So we're just going to let this run. And that should be it. Okay, so you saw the situation we were in. I mean, look, we entered this match, as you saw right at the start. Arsenal were 1.29 at the start of the match. And if you backed them with a £100 stake, then it was a 29% return. Is this going to be another goal? Oh no, it's the end of the match. Okay, so the markets were moving. I thought there was going to be another goal there, but anyway, so just to quickly go over it again, £100 stake, 29% return back in Arsenal at the start of the match via the correct score market. We've more than doubled that. However, it's not without its pros and cons, because obviously one thing to keep in mind, if it just remained 1-0 to Arsenal, Arsenal would have won the match. However, we would have broken even. So there's something just to keep in mind there. But most importantly, we weren't really under any sort of real big risk to actually losing our stake or taking a loss on this particular trade. But anyway, that's the idea. When you're getting involved on the correct score market, backing favourites via the correct score market, the idea is you want to end up with a much bigger profit than if you were to just back them on the match odds market. And we've done that today in this one. Wolves 0, Arsenal 2, the final score. So the main thing to take away from that trade was that we did make a significantly bigger profit via the correct score market, more than double versus the match odds market, and that is the main principle, and that's the main idea behind why you would want to get involved with the correct score market. If you can consistently improve on your profits by taking the correct score route, then you're going to do very well in the long term, since you're technically beating the match odds prices and the match odds market prices in the long term consistently. So anyway, that was one of the big pros to take from it. It was also a very straightforward trade, and this is why you might have heard me say a few times among these videos, when you're trading the correct score market, some of the easier trades you're going to get is when you've got a strong favorite. You also heard our reasoning right at the start for not getting involved on the any other home win outcome, and some might wonder, well, why wouldn't you just back the any other home win price as well and just have that covered? What if Arsenal were 4-0 up by half time? Well, problem is that it's going to dilute your profits substantially. It's usually a very low price on any other home win, and it will lower your profit potential by a huge amount, and you've got to decide whether that's something you really want to do or not. Okay, so anyway, it was that was a very good example. Okay, we made a much bigger profit via the correct score market versus the match odds, and it was a straightforward trade. But they won't always be as straightforward as that, as we're going to see in the next trade or two coming up. And don't forget, if you are liking the look of correct score trading, you want to know how to take it to the next level, learn this in much more detail, then you can download this prospectus book for correct score mastery. It's free to download by clicking the link in the description or just scanning that QR code. Okay, we're going to leave the QR code on the screen all the way through the video so you can do it at any point. And this book will definitely put you on the right path towards learning and mastering the correct score market. And we're going to show you everything you can potentially learn about this market, and you're going to get a much more clearer idea about it all. So if correct score trading interests you in any way, then just get this free download. It's absolutely free to check out. As said, click the link below, fill in your best email address, and we're going to email it right to you. Click the we'll scan the QR code and then put in your best email address and we will email it right to you. You should have it in your inbox by the end of the video. Okay, so that's for those who want to take this to the next level. Anyway, that was an interesting trade, and we've got much more where that one came from. This one is going to be very interesting too. Go grab another nice cold beer and let's get into it. We're trading a match here from Turkey. Alanyaspor about to kick off against Galatasaray. Galatasaray strong odds on favourite, 1.5. Over 2.5 goals, strong odds on as well, 1.46. But we've covered a very nice spectrum of scores here. 0-1, 2 and 3-0 in favour of Galatasaray. Our plan B is obviously considering that Galatasaray will concede. So a 1-0 to Alanyaspor, 1-1, 1-2 and 1-3 also covered. So anyway, let's see how this one goes in play. It's just about to kick off. Just reached half time. It's Alanyaspor 0, Galatasaray 0. So nothing much to report. No action to take either. Okay, we're in a good position because we do cover obviously 1-0 to Galatasaray and 1-0 to Alanyaspor. So any goal either way in the second half, we're in business on this one. Let's see what happens in the second half. I'll keep you updated. 57 minutes on the clock. We got the breakthrough finally on this one. Alanyaspor 0, Galatasaray 1. We're on the 1-0 scoreline to Galatasaray. We are anticipating that this won't finish 1-0. So we are going to trade this down to 0. Okay, we're going to use the green, leverage that off, lay that off at 4.5 and start to get the risk down on this trade. Okay, and we're looking like we're in a very strong position now. Or at least once this is definitely taken, as it's there waiting. So it's now it's been taken. So we're in a good position now. We've got 3 figures worth of green on the upper score lines. We've managed to get our risk down to 76% of our stake. So anyway, let's see what the next goal brings. Okay, if it does remain 1-0 to Galatasaray, it's just going to be a break even, of course, but more than likely we're going to get another goal. Let's see what happens from here. You wait all day for one goal, you get 2 of them in quick succession. Galatasaray have just doubled the lead here. They're now 2-0 up with Hakim Ziyech doubling the lead for them. So anyway, we're on the 2-0 scoreline and we are going to take action against that. Okay, we're still with 30 minutes left on the clock. We're still expecting that there's going to be more. And if I can just sort this out. All right, let's click on that. And okay, it's happened again. All right, let's try this again. Am I going crazy? Let's press this one more time. All right, there you go. Okay, we're going to try and put this down to 0 on the 0-2. And let's just put that in the market. So anyway, you might be thinking, well, is there any need to even trade this out at this particular point? Because we're in a strong position. Well, there you go. I mean, the goals are flying in. So have we got another goal? Is that what's going on here? That'll be even more annoying. Anyway, let's see what's going on. And it looks... Oh, so second yellow card. So it's going to be a red card for the home team. So anyway, well, markets are not really going to respond well to that. You're going to start to see the prices go all over the place. That is actually not the greatest thing for us, surprisingly. Okay, so actually that's even more reason why my little speech is even more relevant. So you might be thinking, why are we trading out the 2-0? We've got all these score lines covered, 2-0, 2-1, 3-0, etc. But we don't have any other away win covered in favour of Galatasaray. So that's something to keep in mind. And now, with Alanyaspor being down to 10 men, Galatasaray 2 goals away from hitting any other away win. So we need to definitely get our risk down on this trade, which we should do very shortly. and we're going to react as the goals go in. So even more reason why it's probably not going to remain 2-0 to Galatasaray. So here we are, okay, 0-0 in the first half, and this second half has exploded. 2 goals and a red card. Let's see what happens from here. Okay, I'm going to leave that order in the market at 3.7. Let's hope the market settles down, and we'll see how this one develops. 74 minutes, we've had another goal, and I thought the floodgates would start to open in this one. It is now 3-0 to Galatasaray. So anyway, remember, we're not covered on the any other away win. Okay, if you said to me at half time we'd be worrying about the any other away win, I would have I wouldn't have believed you. But anyway, here we are. And anyway, I'm just gonna lay off the risk just for the moment, letting the market settle down for a couple of minutes, and then we might just consider cashing out on this one and taking the profit if we even get the chance. They might go up and score another one, right? In the meantime, we do have a bit more profit on the 3-1, but I don't see a team of 10 men pulling a goal back in this one, so we might just have to take the profit. But anyway, letting this market settle down for a minute or two, and then we'll be right back. So here we are, 79 minutes, and it looks like we are, well, it looks like that market's finally settled down. So we're going to try and exit out of this one, and hopefully we were looking at maybe locking in around a £50 profit, which is around a 50% return, which is not bad. I mean, considering this match has turned on its head and gone crazy on us, yeah, we kind of got to take that profit. So anyway, yeah, we've locked that in, 50% return across all the outcomes, and we're just going to leave it at that on this one. You saw how this match developed. I mean, 0-0 at half time. It was seeming calm and fine, and everything was great. 2 quick goals. Suddenly it's 2-0. We do take action, but the red card really puts the cat amongst the pigeons for us. And once it gets to 3-0, obviously the big danger is the any other away win. Okay, didn't really think of that as being much of a danger based on the research, and even up to as much of the as the 56th minute. But anyway, you have to take action. You've got to be dynamic. You've got to adapt to how the match is adapting. And in this particular case, we decided to take the profit. Another option was to just leave the free bet on the 3-0. However, the red card, it's just swung the decision to just get out and lock in a profit in this one. So anyway, we're out with a profit on this one. Alanyaspor 0, Galatasaray 3, 79 minutes on the clock. So that was a pretty interesting match to trade, with the big lesson from it being that red cards are often wild cards, and it can be pretty tricky to trade these matches when there is a red card, even though technically that red card went in our favour. If it was a red card to Galatasaray, then it would have been even more of a struggle, but that did go in our favour. However, it did make that match a little bit more trickier to trade, because then suddenly the markets are anticipating more goals, but also that the match itself is probably going to deliver more goals. I think if that match stays 11 against 11, we're probably hitting that 2-0 and maybe just trading on that 2-0, maybe a late 3-0 or something like that. As it was, I think it finished 4 or 5-0. So anyway, look, red cards are wild cards, and I would say if you are new to football trading, there's a red card and you're in doubt, then get out. Okay, if you're in any doubt, just get out when there's a red card, because it really can make things very tricky to read. So anyway, with that sort of match, it's the type of football trade where you have to say you're thankful to take a profit. Okay, we were looking to be in a very nice position at half time. When we got that first goal, we had nice green built up on the 2-0, the 3-0, etc. And if we hit those late on, we would have made a darn sight higher profit than the one we actually took. But this isn't one of those matches where you can look at that and think, oh, I'm annoyed. All that work didn't make as much profit as I really wanted to. Such a crazy match. You should be thankful to take a profit. Okay, that red card at another time in the match, suddenly you could be staring down the barrel of losing your full stake, depending who it goes to. And red cards are a possibility. So anyway, a crazy match, a good example for you there of how to handle matches when they go crazy. This time, it worked out well for us. A match from French League One, Lens against Clermont. And we're going to be trading the correct score market on this one. Lens, a strong favourite. And you can see that if we were to just back Lens with a £100 stake, it gives us £40 of profit potential. But in the correct score market, that same £100 stake, it increases the profit potential slightly. And we've also got a plan B covered with a 1-1. So we're going to see if we can improve on that profit potential, that profit target of the £40 by trading the correct score market. Okay, that's the idea. And we've got those score lines covered, as you can see, mainly in favour of Lens. So that's pretty much it. Let's just see how this one goes in play. It's just about to kick off from the French league. Half-time, Lens 1, Clermont 0. Lens took the lead in like the 3rd minute, and they've been 1-0 up ever since. So anyway, we're on the 1-0. We're not expecting it to remain 1-0. We're expecting there will be more goals in this one. So we're going to lay off the 1-0 scoreline and put that down to 0. That's going to be a break-even situation should it just remain 1-0. But we're going to put a little bit more profit on the next possible score lines and also lower our risk on the trade should it go pear-shaped. So you can see the new situation here. So anyway, let's see what happens. It's so far so good. We're in a very strong position when we get that favourite taking the lead. That's the team we back. They've taken the lead, so we're looking good. Lens 1, Clermont 0. So surprisingly, we're here in the 92nd minute. It's still Lens 1, Clermont 0. So we're staring down the barrel of a scratch trade, okay? We're staring down the barrel of just breaking even on this one. Very strange match. Lens taking the lead on the 3rd minute, and then that seems like that was it. It seems like there was no more goals after that. You don't see that sort of match every day. But anyway, we are going to get out of this with no loss. So that is the good news. But just something to keep in mind if you think about the whole principle of backing favourites via the correct score market. If we did back Lens in the match odds market, we would be looking at a profit right now. Okay, so we would have just been taking the what was it, the 60% return, and we wouldn't necessarily need another goal to improve on that. If we did get it here, we could have got it up to a 77% return, or even if Clermont equalised, we could have still made a profit. But anyway, look, those are the pros and cons of this sort of trade. And in this one, you've kind of seen one of the cons of it. Okay, we are going to end up in a break even on this one. Lens 1, Clermont 0. I think that's the final score. So not much to add to that wasn't already said in the clip, but just a reminder to those who are new to football trading. A scratch trade is always a positive, okay? You need to flip your mindset around. Sometimes I've seen some newbies, some beginners, they get a scratch trade or some sort of break-even trade and they treat it like it's some sort of loss and they get frustrated at it. Whereas you need to flip it around and think, look, if you've entered a trade and you've only come out with a scratch trade, that's absolutely fine, because on another day, Lens do double the lead and suddenly we're in the green, we're making profits, and maybe there's even another goal after that. And we were in a very nice position, okay, very, very late on. So anyway, that's the important thing. Always protect your stake, protect your risk, and get your liability down to 0 whenever possible. Nice against Lorient from the French league, and you can see Nice are a nice price here. 1.59 on this one, and over 2.5 goals, very even, 50-50. So anyway, let me show you what we've covered in this one. We've covered a fair spectrum of scores, including plan B of a 0-1 and a 1-1 and also a 2-1, okay? And other than that, it's all in favour of Nice, as you would expect. And we're going to see how it goes, okay? A £100 stake has given us £50 or 50% profit potential, which is initial, okay? Because we can build on that during the match, and you're going to see how very shortly. So there's nothing else to do. It's just about to kick off. Nice against Lorient from the French league. And this one's just hit half-time. Nice 1, Lorient 0. So we are going to remove the risk on... Well, not remove the risk. We're going to remove the profit on the 1-0. And that might look a little bit strange to you, but we're doing this because we're anticipating that there's going to be more goals. So we're trading off that 1-0. We're lowering the overall liability on the whole trade, and we're putting a bit more green on the more likely score lines, okay? It's more likely than not going to end up on another score line. So we're going to do that. We're going to take that action. That's in there. 4.8 is the next one to be taken, and that should get taken very, very shortly. But anyway, that's going to be the movement on this one. Nice 1, Lorient 0 at half time. 54 minutes in, Nice have doubled the lead, and that is very, very nice for us. And we are on the 2-0 scoreline. We've also got the next possible scorelines covered, 2-1, 3-0 and 3-1 also. So anyway, what we're going to do, we can be aggressive. We're in a strong position. And what I'm going to do is I am going to put the 2-0 down to 0. Going to take away all the profit from that and move it on to the other scorelines. But I'm going to put it on order in at odds of 3, as you can see there. Okay, so just going to get that in, and everything's slowing down a little bit. But anyway, hopefully that should be in very, very shortly. And you can see the orders there. Okay, so that should be taken in the next few minutes. But otherwise, we're in a strong position. Okay, we've got our risks down slightly. We've got our profit potential up to around 66. But anyway, let's get that lay order matched, and we'll be back with an update when the next significant event happens. Nice 2, Lorient 0, 55 minutes on the clock. In the 90th minute, we've got a third goal in this one. Nice have gone 3-0 up. That's very, very nice. So we are going to take this profit at this particular point. Okay, we're going to take that and exit out of the market. Another goal to Nice, any other home win, and we'll actually be losing. Okay, so let's just get that locked in. And you see that's going to leave us with 75 on the 3-0. So a bit of a dodgy cash out, a bigger profit on the 3-1. So I mean, we didn't mean to do that, but maybe we should just let that run. Okay, but let's lay off a little bit of this. And so if we get another goal, we will leverage up and make an even bigger profit. I assume that fluctuation was that maybe there was more time added on than what the markets were expecting, so that's caused the markets to go a little bit crazy. But anyway, this is a nice position to be in. If it remains 3-0, we're going to make a 65% return. If it goes to another goal to Nice, 112% return. If it's a consolation goal for Lorient, 243% return. So anyway, let's see what happens. That's a very nice goal for us, and we're in the late stages. So the final score, the final whistle's just gone. It is Nice 3, Lorient 0. That is the final score on that one, so we didn't get that extra goal. But anyway, the most important thing about the trade was that I would say we weren't really in any sort of crazy risk as it developed. We went in with an initial, £50 of profit potential, so we have increased that, and I did mention that at the start of the match, that is a possibility when you're trading the correct score market. Okay, in the end, we were 1 goal away from making a very significant profit if we did get that very late bonus goal. But anyway, it wasn't to be, but we still made a very nice return. Okay, 65% return on our stake. So we are done with this one. 3-0 final score. So pretty straightforward trade there. Everything went in favour of the team we favoured, which is always great to see. Now, here's the thing with that particular trade. We were 1 goal away from levelling up those profits significantly, as you saw right at the end. Now, if you were eagle-eyed, you'd probably realise the profit we eventually made from the match was actually very similar to the profit we would have made if we just backed Nice on the match odds market and waited for that Nice win. Okay, so again, that's one of the arguments against, look, is there any advantage to trading correct score over just backing that favourite in the match odds market and not having all this complication? Well, again, 1 goal away from leveling up and making significantly bigger profits. Okay, and in the end, we were in a situation where, yes, okay, we did pretty much match that same profit that we would have made on the match odds market, but we were in that position and that opportunity to then make an even bigger profit, which you wouldn't get on the match odds market. But anyway, as said, pros and cons. This is what these videos are all about, is to float ideas around, show you how things are done. You can decide what you like best. So anyway, that was a very straightforward trade. And if they were all as straightforward as that, then football trading would be a much, much easier venture. Anyway, on to the next one. Just about to kick off from the Etihad, Man City against Real Madrid. Man City, an odds-on favourite here, 1.62. Very interesting, and strongly expecting goals in this one. So we're covering 1-0, 1-1, 2-0, 2-1, 3-0 and 3-1 in this one. And as you can see, it's scorelines all favouring Man City. Plan B is the 1-1 mainly, really. Okay, we're going pretty heavy in favour of Man City, and we've dutched those scorelines also. So anyway, just about to kick off. Let's see how it goes in play. Interesting, very interesting. Man City a goal down, and very even market. So looking at the correct score market, we've got some work to do on this. And as we can see, we're dead on 1-0, 2-0 and 3-0. That's already dead once that Real Madrid goal goes in. So we've heavily favoured Man City. We could end up paying the price on this one. So anyway, let's see what happens in the second half. Man City 0, Real Madrid 1. Work to do. 77 minutes on the clock. Man City have got an equaliser. Okay, it's been coming. It's been coming. So anyway, look, this is 4-4 on aggregate. I'm going to lock in the profit here. Okay, I'm going to take the profit here. And a few reasons for that. Let's just take it. It's a 62% return on the stake. That's not bad at all. So I'm going to take the profit here for a few reasons. Okay, Real Madrid obviously playing a lot better than we initially anticipated, and another goal to Madrid. We didn't have the 1-2 covered in favour of Real Madrid. Also, there is the prospect of this match going to extra time. So with around 10 minutes left, you could see the two teams just settle for the extra time as well. So I wasn't going to look for further goals. I think we're better off just taking that profit and leaving it at that in this one. Okay. So 62% return on our stake. It's Man City 1, Real Madrid 1. 77 minutes on the clock. And that match did actually finish 1-1 in normal time, with Man City eventually being eliminated on penalties. So anyway, it did finish 1-1, but this was a good example and a very typical example, because it does happen a lot. And I'm sure you've seen it in other clips. An early goal to an unfavored team is just never good. It's never good news. Okay, when you're picking out your target scores, you've got to choose which team you're going to favor. And generally, really, you should be favoring the favorite. And we've done that in this one. Early goal to the other team, and suddenly you are up against it. Now, we stuck with the trade. However, you could also exit early. If it isn't an early goal to an unfavored team, you could exit early. I mean, you saw at half time, you could have taken, what, a 12% loss and just said, do you know what? This isn't the match. This isn't this trade is not going exactly the way I want it. I'm just going to exit, take a small loss, and we'll try and trade another one. So you've always got these options. This is important to keep in mind. This is the beautiful thing with football trading, is that you always have options. Okay. And another example, another thing that was covered in this match, which is something under talked about within football trading, and it's to beware of two-legged matches. So the end of a first leg, you're not going to see teams really go for it in heading into stoppage time, because they know, do you know what, there's a whole match again to play next week. So if we're a goal down or it's a draw heading into stoppage time at the end of a first leg, a lot of teams are going to think, do you know what, keep what we got. Next week we'll try and win the match then. And at the end of the second leg, if two teams are level and extra time is looking on the cards, you're going to find in that final 10 minutes and that time added on, a lot of the time teams will just settle to take the extra time. Okay, they don't want to lose it with a last minute goal, and if they do concede in that final 10 minutes, it's going to be very hard for them to recover. But if you concede in extra time, maybe you've got 30 minutes to come back. So that's the way a lot of teams see it. And I kind of sensed that would be the case in the Man City Madrid match. I thought that, well, it's 1-1. There's however long left. Probably they're just going to see if they can battle it out in extra time. So that's just something to keep in mind. I chose to exit at that particular point, and that was the reason why. And the final point on this one is just to show you again, look, we are backing favourites via the correct score market. And this is one of the plus points, is that we made that profit. Okay, so we made the profit. I think to back Man City at the start of the match was 1.62. So it would have been £62 if we backed Man City to win the match. However, we came out with £62 of profit when they didn't even win. Okay, so they drew. So again, it just shows some of the advantages to trade in the correct score market. So we've got more to come in just a moment. But if you haven't done so already, I would really love it if you could click the like button on this video. If you've made it this far in the video, chances are you probably like it, right? Also, while you're there, you might want to hit that subscribe button, but most importantly, hit the notification bell. You want to get notified as soon as those new videos come out so you can see them as soon as they are available. All right. Anyway, we're going to dive into another live example. And again, this is going to be an interesting one for you to check out because this is another trade which goes a little bit pear-shaped. Definitely not as smooth as the last trade you checked out. Anyway, let's get back into it right now. West Ham against Leverkusen. It's from the Europa League. You can see West Ham, big price for a home team. Leverkusen, odds-on favourites here at 1.97. And expecting goals in this one. West Ham are 2-0 down from the first leg, so they've really got to go for it. And we have covered scorelines mainly favouring Leverkusen. Okay, we're expecting Leverkusen to do West Ham over again. And it is 1-0 and 1-1 mainly as our plan B in this one. So it's going to be interesting. It's just about to kick off in the Europa League. Let's see what happens next. It's half-time in this one and maybe a slight surprise. It's West Ham 1. Leverkusen 0. So we're on that West Ham 1-0 scoreline. We don't have 2-0 or 2-1 or scorelines in favour of West Ham covered. So it is time to start to try and get the risk down on this trade as much as we can, really. So we're going to do that. We're going to go lay in this 1-0 scoreline, anticipating a Leverkusen equaliser. But yeah, we're in a slightly sticky situation, okay? We've obviously favoured Leverkusen. West Ham had been the team to take the lead. So let's try and get the risk down on this one. Worst case scenario, or worst case loss now is a 80% loss. So not 100% loss on our stakes. At least we've got that down slightly. But ideally, we want that next goal to go to Leverkusen. And then we're in a much stronger position with the trade overall. Let's see what happens. West Ham 1, Leverkusen 0 at half-time. 89 minutes on the clock. The Leverkusen equaliser has arrived, finally. Okay, so we are going to remove all risk from this trade. It's going to leave us with 86% return on this 1-1 scoreline, which was one of our target scores at the start of the match. And looks like it could potentially finish on the 1-1. We've also got bigger profits on the 1-2 to Leverkusen if they can nick a late winner. We're going to leave it as to be a break even on the 2-1 to West Ham. Well, actually, looking at this, we could probably lay some off just in case. I mean, look, this tie is virtually over now, okay, because it's West Ham 1, Leverkusen 3. West Ham have got to find 2 goals late on. But anyway, we want to put ourselves in a position where we're going to take something out of this no matter what. So here we are on the 1-1 scoreline, probably going to finish 1-1, and we'll take a 77% return from our initial risk. If we can get another Leverkusen goal, that would be very, very nice. Anyway, 90 minutes on the clock, West Ham 1, Leverkusen 1. I'm going to check how much stoppage time is left. And that was the final action on this one. The final score is going to be West Ham 1, Leverkusen 1. West Ham eliminated from the Europa League, and this overall trade, not the easiest, definitely a good example of what can happen when you're trading the correct score market. You're going to back score lines favouring one particular team, and if that underdog takes the lead, especially an early lead, I mean, you're just on the back foot for the rest of the match. However, the importance of having a plan B is good, okay? Remember, we've entered this match favouring Leverkusen, expecting Leverkusen win. They've ended up drawing, but we still came out with a profit. And in the late stages, we were pretty much down to 0 risk on this one as well. So anyway, not to be for West Ham tonight. Final score, West Ham 1, Leverkusen 1. So not much to add to that. That wasn't just said in the actual clip itself. But one thing I will say is backing away favourites might require more caution. And you kind of saw we took a little bit more caution on that particular example by covering the 1-0 to West Ham, to the home team, which in the end we had to use. Okay, we had to use that as part of our plan B. Remember, the more score lines you cover, the lower your profit potential. However, when it's an away favourite, and this was also a second leg match which Leverkusen didn't need to win, so more caution was required, and we were prepared to sacrifice a little bit of that profit in order to do that. And also, just another example again, I mean, we're essentially backing the favourite. They've ended up drawing, and we still made a profit. Okay, so again, it shows some of the advantages of trading the correct score market. There are pros and cons to all the markets and all the strategies, but that's definitely one of the pros. And as said earlier, if any of this correct score trading looks interesting to you, you want to learn more about it, make sure you get this free download. It's the Correct Score Mastery course prospectus. This will show you how you could potentially take things to the next level with your correct score trading. To get this free ebook, the link is in the description of this video. Just scroll below the video, click on it, fill out the form, and then we'll email the book to you. If you're on a big screen, you can scan that QR code and then fill out the form, and we'll email you the book also. Okay, it's absolutely free, and it will be the next step towards potentially learning and mastering the correct score market. So if you've liked anything you've seen today and you do want to learn more about it, then that's the next thing to do. Okay, go grab a copy of that. As said, link in the description, or scan the QR code. Now, also, if you did like what you've seen today and you do want to learn even more and go even deeper, there should be a good video on the screen right now with even more detail, and I strongly advise clicking on that video and checking out. Go grab another nice cold beer, and I will see you in the next video.